Hi, everybody, and welcome to this month's live training for the Secrets of Success mentoring program. And I hope you're keeping very well amidst these crazy times. Oh, my goodness, what a time to be alive! We've got pandemics, we've got war, we've got food shortages, oil crisis, oil shortages, price of oil going through the roof, price of all energy going through the roof, living costs going up, and oh my goodness, what an uncertain time right now, and it can be quite scary. It can be quite scary. But one thing, I just want to check, make sure that the audio is coming through. Yeah, it is, it is, it is. I've got monitors all over the place here, different for one for YouTube, for Facebook and LinkedIn and things, just to make sure everything's working. And it seems to be the quality, picture quality is not great for some reason, but anyway, I'm sure it'll improve. So yeah, as I say, so much uncertainty right now, so much uncertainty, and there's never been a time where we need to think more creatively. And I'm a firm believer that there is no goal that is too big that cannot be solved with more creativity. There is no thing that we may want to achieve in life that cannot be achieved providing we're creative enough. So this is one of my favorite topics, creativity. And the topic, the title for today's session is Creativity Secrets for Greater Success. And if you want to be more successful, if you want to achieve your life's biggest goals, if you want to create an amazingly happy, fulfilled life, it's really important to learn how to be more creative. Because you know what? All success comes through the way we think. And Albert Einstein, talked about the definition of insanity as being doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Sadly, that's what a lot of people do. The same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And if you do the same thing over and over again, you'll get the same result. It's simple as that. So it's important, no matter what challenges we're experiencing in life, no matter what goals we want to achieve, no matter what type of life we're trying to create for ourselves and our family and loved ones, a good extra dose of creativity can make the impossible possible. So before we get started, in a few minutes from now, I'm going to go in front of my main big screen with my clicker and do the presentation there as always. But I always try to gauge where people are at so I can customize things a little bit, make it more applicable to our group today. And so I'm going to ask a question, and there is a chat box probably on the right-hand side of the screen. Probably it depends on where you're watching this or where you're joining us from. But there should be a chat box on most of the websites that I broadcast on. And I'm going to ask you a question here. And if you just type in the chat box, if you see one, your response, as I said, just trying to get a feel for the group today, everyone's needs. So first question, on a scale of 1 to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, how creative have you been in the past 3 months? So if you haven't been very creative, you might give yourself a 1, 2, or a 3. If you've been feeling really creative, give yourself a high number. And I'm already seeing, I'm looking at chat coming in from 3 different places. I'm seeing 5, 7, 5, 9, 6. Some very good numbers there. 3, 2, 4, 7, 9. Okay. So numbers all over the place there. A lot of high scores, a lot of medium scores, and a couple of low scores. So irrespective of how you rated yourself, I'm going to share with you powerful ways to boost your creativity. Really powerful, really simple ways that can enable you to be far more creative. And the great thing is you can test these for yourself and see what happens. And you might be astounded by the level of creativity, the level of wisdom that resides within you, within everyone. And it's a matter of knowing how to tap into that very powerfully. And we'll be looking at quite a few different ways to tap into that creativity and test the one that feels most applicable to yourself. Test them all if you want, even better. Also, another question before I move over to the main camera, and also on a scale of 1 to 10, how productive have you been in the past month? How productive? If you've been really productive, give yourself a high rating, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you feel that you're just nothing's coming together and you're not very happy with your productivity, give yourself a low rating. And productivity is one of those words like self-discipline, so it can weigh you down. But it's really, productivity to me means minimum effort, maximum result. What are the simplest things, the smallest things that you can do to leap ahead forwards, leap ahead in transforming your dreams into concrete reality? So productivity is really important. We all want to get maximum success for whatever we're doing with the minimal amount of effort. So I'll read that again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how productive have you been in the past month? And I'm seeing lots of numbers here: 5, 7, 8, 7, 9, 6. Okay, that's pretty good numbers. No ones or zeros, which is always a good thing. But irrespective of how you rated yourself, I'm going to share with you a few ways to be a lot more productive. A lot more. Another word for productive. I'm going to help you to achieve your goals faster with less effort. That sounds a little bit more, what would you say, palatable than the word productivity. It is one of those words. I remember, my late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, words like goal achievement, self-discipline, productivity, those are words that, really heavy. But it was, it took years for me to discover actually how important. But as I say, minimum effort, maximum results. So I'm going to go in front of the main camera with my clicker. So I'm going to blank out this webcam momentarily, do the presentation from the big screen and my clicker, and then come back here in front of my computer to answer your questions. So anything that you want to ask me about, I'm here for you. So the session is about an hour and 10 minutes long, approximately. And then I come back here and get those questions out. So I'm going to blank out the screen. My microphone is going to go quiet. My video camera is going to disappear for a moment, but don't go away, because all I'm doing is switching cameras. I want to get rid of a couple of things. I want to get rid of that logo. And just 1 second. Hi everybody, and welcome to this month's live training for the Secrets of Success mentoring program. I hope you're keeping very well amidst this crazy age we now live in, between pandemics and wars, and my goodness, what interesting times to be alive. Anyway, today's topic, very important subject. It's creativity secrets for greater success. Because you know what? Success is not necessarily about hard work. Success is how you think. How successful you are is based on the ways you think. The more creative you are, the more successful you can become. This is fact. These are not just my own opinions, as we will discover. So, creativity secrets for greater success. So what did we cover last month? Because every month new people are joining this live training, and they might think, what was covered last month? If you find this interesting, this is what you will discover we covered last month. We looked at why you must eliminate the fears holding you back, because fears are the one thing that stop everyone from achieving the better things in life. We need to know how to overcome fear. Very, very important. Also, I shared with you the amazing benefits of being more courageous, obviously the opposite to fear. The importance of a positive mental attitude. If you have a negative mental attitude, it holds everything back. It stops you getting ahead in life. It stops you achieving the most fulfilling life that is available to you. So the importance of a positive mental attitude and how to create that, how to become solution focused, how to experience deep lasting happiness. And we discovered that last month that Studies have found that happiness is a choice. And as Abraham Lincoln once said, I've observed that most people are as happy as they make up their minds to be. So hope this, if this is of interest to you, go back, watch last month's training. It's in the members area. It's also available on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else, my podcasts, etc. So how to generate courage and achieve what others can't. So that was last month. Well, so what are we going to cover today? Well, today we're going to look at the money-making power of your own ideas. The easy way to start thinking like a genius, and everybody has this ability. Within you, you have an extraordinary ability to tap unlimited wisdom, and I'll show you how to activate that, and also how to tap into an unlimited reservoir of creativity. I kind of said that in the last sentence, didn't I? And also 9, not 1, but 9 powerful ways to stimulate your creative flow, and also how to boost your energy and combat stress. And also I'm going to share with you 10 questions that can make you twice as productive. Now, I'm a firm believer in the saying minimum effort, maximum result. Now, we can work like crazy to achieve certain results, or we can do things the smart way. And minimum effort, but huge result from that effort. So doesn't it make more sense that instead of running around like crazy trying to make things happen, if we do the pivotal things, just a few little things that make massive difference, that's far more effective, and that means we're much more productive. And when I'm talking about productivity, I'm not talking about stress or anything like that. What I teach every month are ways to combat stress by working smart rather than hard. And what I share each month in these live trainings have been these are strategies, tools and techniques, the habits of the world's highest performers, the world's most successful people. And the things that I share, most of the things I share each month have been scientifically proved to work. So these are not just my own opinions I'm pulling out of the air. Okay, so why are these things even important? Why are they important? Well, first of all, you'll be able to achieve a level of success that others simply can't. You'll have greater power to get what you want. And instead of, waiting for things to happen or hope a run of luck, possibly you might be waiting a long time for that, you can make things happen, okay? And you'll be able to improve obviously your personal life and your career, and you can achieve all your goals faster while reducing stress. And if you've been following my work for any length of time, you will know I have a full-blown 6-week course all about goal achievement. It's called Goal Hacking. And if you are a member of the Secrets of Success mentoring program, you get that entire course for free. It's normally $400 or $500, but you get it free just for being a member. In fact, you get all my trainings for free, about $3,500 worth of courses that I've produced over the years if you're a member of the Secrets of Success. So that's what we're going to cover today. So success and wealth, are they created through hard work? Do you become successful and can you become wealthy through hard work? Not really. Well, hard work may be involved, but most people, the fact is most people work really hard and they are almost broke. That's fact. And if you take the time to study the world's most influential, most effective people, the highest performers, there have been huge scientific studies into this, you'll find that success and wealth are actually created in your own mind. That's the way to become really wealthy, to be really successful. Everything starts with a thought, with an idea. And the ideas and the emotions you choose most of the time determine the course of your life. Okay? So your mind contains everything you need, absolutely everything you need. And you can use it to achieve anything you want. You can use your mind to achieve anything you want. You might think, what? Well, if you've been joining these live trainings for any length of time, you'll know that I talk a lot about conditioning, And the self-sabotaging beliefs we have, our subconscious beliefs that hold us back from the better things in life, and how to overcome that. Because one of the greatest things that stop ordinary people achieving extraordinary goals is these subconscious beliefs, these limiting beliefs. And if you become aware of what those limiting beliefs are, and you have a very simple way of cancelling them, what was before impossible suddenly becomes possible. So your mind contains everything you need, and you can use it to achieve anything you want, providing you know how to tap into this potential of your mind, and most people don't. So everything, this is a fact, everything that exists, everything exists. If you walk down the street, or you go into any shop, store, everything that exists started as an idea in the mind of a single human being. Everything. Except for, trees and nature itself, but often people plant trees and, flowers and things in various different places. But all the things that have been manufactured, and that's most of what we experience every day. Every single thing that we see started out as a thought in the mind of a single person. Okay, that is fact. So the power of ideas, excuse me. This is Napoleon Hill, one of my heroes, the author of Think and Grow Rich, which he wrote in 1937. Still a bestseller today. I think the only book that has ever outsold it is the Bible. I think it's one of the greatest contributions to humanity. Think and Grow Rich. Gandhi, I think, gave away something like so many million copies to people all over India. It was that important for people to change their mindset. One of the fundamental, learning tools for myself anyway over the years. Think and Grow Rich. Anyway, Napoleon Hill said that Dr. Alexander Graham Bell and Dr. Elmer R. Gates observed that every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. By the way, telepathy has been scientifically proved in countless laboratory experiments. So if you think, oh, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't exist, it's been scientifically proved. Okay, so Dr. Alexander Graham Bell, who is the inventor of the telephone, one of my relatives, one of my ancestors, and Dr. Elmer R. Gates observed that every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. And he said, through the medium of the ether, in a fashion similar to that employed by the radio broadcasting principle, every human brain is capable of picking up vibrations of thought which are being released by other brains. And he also said, thought which has been modified or stepped up by any of the major emotions vibrates at a much higher rate than ordinary thought. And it is this type of thought which passes from one brain to another through the broadcasting machinery of the human brain. So, if you've probably heard me saying this so many times, our dominant thoughts and emotions create the circumstances of our life. If we repeat the same thoughts, it's like our subconscious mind starts to act on that. But if we emotionalize it, if we add strong emotion to the mix, it's like a command to our subconscious mind to go out and do what we're obsessively giving it all of the time. So people can sabotage their lives terribly through their repeated thoughts and emotions, and particularly limiting beliefs that have been formed over long periods of time. And I've heard so many people saying, oh, I've got bad money karma, or I've got bad relationship karma. Maybe. Or maybe it's just the thoughts that you constantly repeat to yourself. The incorrect beliefs you constantly bombard your subconscious mind with, especially with emotion. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it can be changed. It can be changed quite quickly, actually. Any area of life where we're being held back, when we root out our limiting beliefs in that area of life, and we know how to cancel them, and I share this frequently, then what was impossible suddenly becomes possible. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. This is the power of ideas. Well, not really. So, now this is a fascinating fact. This is a fascinating fact. Major breakthroughs occur simultaneously around the world. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but there's meowing going on. Every single session I do, Teddy the pussycat wants to come in. 1 second, let him in. Don't go away. Come in, Teddy. Sorry about that. It'll probably be acrobatics and somersaults any moment now. So major breakthroughs occur simultaneously around the world. What do I mean by that? Well, William Ogburn and Dorothy Thomas in 1922, exactly 100 years ago, created. Oh, here's Teddy. Here's Teddy. Here's the cover. Okay, William Ogburn and Dorothy Thomas in 1922, exactly 100 years ago, created the first list of 148 major inventions and discoveries that occurred simultaneously around the world. Now, remember, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, information traveled very slowly, not like today. Everybody's connected to everybody, and any new breakthrough, the whole world knows about it. Back then, information traveled very, very slowly. So, what did they discover? Well, first of all, that Newton and Leibniz both discovered calculus at the same time. Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace both discovered evolution, even though Darwin got the credit. 3 mathematicians invented decimal fractions. Oxygen was discovered in 1773 and 1774 by Joseph Priestley in England and by Carl Wilhelm Scheele in Sweden. Colour photography was invented at the same time by Charles Cros and by Louis Ducos de Horon in France. Logarithms were invented by John Napier and Henry Briggs in Britain and by Jute Bergy in Switzerland. In 1611 there were 4 independent discoveries of sunspots in Italy, Germany, Holland and England. The law of the conservation of energy was discovered 4 times independently in 1847. Information travelled very slowly back then. At least 6 different inventors of the thermometer. 9 people claim to have invented the telescope. Alexander Graham Bell, my relative, Elisha Gray and Antonio Meucci all invented the telephone at the same time. The only reason why Alexander Graham Bell gets the credit, because he got his patent or his patent in something like 6 hours before the next guy, so he gets all the credit for it. But you know, he was not the only inventor of the telephone by any means. And also, even radio was invented by both Tesla and Marconi at the same time. I think, even though Marconi gets the credit, I think Tesla was ahead of him. I think Marconi, if memory serves me right, was using some of Tesla's principles and understandings to achieve this. So look, this is the amazing thing. It's like when humanity is ready for a breakthrough that it can use, it's like it's plunked into the minds of many people at the same time. Many people at the same time. And you know, I'm kind of inventive myself. Inventions, ideas do come to me, and have been for years. And usually I don't take action on them because I'm too busy. But often, well, this has happened so many times. A year or 2 or 3 or 4 years later, I start seeing the idea I had out there in the marketplace. Think, great, at least someone else is doing it, you know. So it's like if anyone is creative or intuitive and have the ability to bring something to fruition, it's there. Ideas are there, you know. But I think ideas are literally pop into people's minds at a time, people's minds at a time, when they can be utilized, when they make sense to be utilized. So really interesting. This is you know, 100 years ago this research was done. Okay, so are ideas in the air? Are ideas literally in the air? Well, I don't think they're actually in the air, but are they just out there waiting to be plucked? And you know, my own experiences certainly make me think so. And ideas seem to appear in many people's minds at the same time, especially, as I say, when they can be used by society. So, is it possible for you to tap into creative ideas? Well, you can tap into unlimited creative ideas using your subconscious mind. Most people don't know how to do this. Most people don't even know they got a subconscious mind. Well, they're aware that they have this part of their mind that makes their lungs breathe and their heart beat, and but your subconscious mind it's like a supercomputer. It makes up most of your mind. The part of our consciousness that most people refer to as their mind, conscious awareness, conscious mind's tiny portion of our overall mind. Okay, so to tap into unlimited creative ideas that can help you leapfrog forwards in your career, your personal life, success, wealth, whatever success means to you, you can become far more successful at anything when you become more creative and you know how to use this part of your mind. So you must become an expert at tapping into the creativity of your subconscious mind. You must become an expert at influencing your subconscious mind to create the life you want. Really, really, really important. So your ideas, well, they create your life. What you can imagine, you can achieve. These are not just my own words. These are not just my own thoughts and ideas, although I've had so much proof that this is true. But so many other people have come to the same conclusions. Big studies in this, okay? Fact is, everything starts with an idea. Success is created through your ideas. Success isn't created through luck or just waiting around for something to happen. No. We have this amazing machine, you might say, between our ears. Sometimes we have to squeeze out of it amazing ideas, amazing thoughts. It just doesn't, there's this expression, if you don't use it, you lose it. I remember back in 2001, I sold my first major company to a multinational, very, very successful, very wealthy at that point, before I lost it all a couple of years later. But I was amazed after selling my business. I didn't do much for a year. My wife and I just did a bit of traveling. It was a very, easygoing year. Just sort of after the sale of the business, just chill out and relax. And then I went back into business. I needed to. And wow, I was shocked at how my ability to think was hugely impaired compared to before. So if you're not using your brain, you're not squeezing all this amazing richness out of your own brain, it gets lazy, it gets out of practice. So it's really important. Mental agility for me is absolutely everything. The speed of thought, my ability to tie things together in my mind in a simple, clear way, really important. If we're dragging ourselves around and we're really full of brain fog and we're eating bad food and we're not focusing on nutrition, we're going to be tired. Our thinking processes are very slow, very hard to achieve our goals. But if you are taking adequate exercise, lots of water, and eating really high quality nutritious food and really looking after your physical and mental needs, my goodness, you work in a totally different way, and it's so easy to achieve your goals. Okay, so these are some of the things I teach each month. Really small optimizations, really easy to make optimizations, so massive results. Okay, so going off on a tangent there, wasn't I? Again, amazing ideas that changed the world came as flashes of inspiration. So you need to know how to tap into these flashes of inspiration. You have a limitless source of life-changing ideas locked up inside you, waiting to be picked. And you can tap into this source of unlimited ideas because you have a subconscious mind, I have a subconscious mind, everybody does. And the subconscious mind is connected to everything. It's like vast, it's like our own subconscious mind is part of another shared unconscious, you might say. So, you can tap into Wow, honestly, there's no limit to it. Anyway, so you just need to know how to access these unlimited creative ideas, and I'm going to show you, 9 ways, 10 powerful techniques. Actually, I made a mistake in the slide. I discovered this late yesterday, and later on in the presentation, it's actually 9 powerful ways, but I'm sure there's a 10th way. I'm sure there's a 10th way, and if you find one, let me know. So, how to tap into this unlimited source of ideas. So there's not 10, but 9 powerful techniques I'm going to share with you that will allow you to access your creative inner genius. Excuse me, more water needed. Coughing and spluttering to your very good health. Fortunately, Teddy Pussycat's curled up in his bed there. He's probably the only cat. He's the only cat I know who has an office desk bed. I've got a big desk and my keyboard, my mouse, and there's Teddy, this lovely comfortable bed. Lucky, spoilt pussycat. He's very, very nice. Technique number 1. This is Thomas Edison, the inventor. Okay, and this is what I call I think other people call it as well, the Thomas Edison method. Okay, of tapping into these unlimited creative ideas. So Thomas Edison, he used to take a cat nap if he was stumped by some technical problem that he couldn't figure out with his conscious mind. He would do this very simple process, and it really works because I've used it myself. My God, it's astounding what can happen. Basically, what he would do is he would, step 1 in the process, he'd plant firmly in his mind the problem to which he needed a solution. So you can do this yourself. Just plant in your mind really clearly the problem and that you need a solution. Okay. Step 2, request a solution from your subconscious mind. Okay. Step 3, summon up firm belief, even if it's only temporary, that you will get a solution from your subconscious mind on awakening, because you're going to go asleep now in a moment. Well, not in a moment, but this is part of the technique. So you temporarily, you might say artificial belief or artificial faith, just get yourself into a state where you know you're going to get the answer. Even if it's like living a lie for a moment, even if you don't think it's possible, just get yourself into that state where you, yes, I'm going to get this answer. Okay? Very important. Step number 4, relax and go to sleep for 30 minutes or an hour. Set your alarm. Now, amazing what can happen. Let's look at these steps again. Plant firmly in your mind the problem to which you need a solution. Request a solution from your subconscious mind. Summon up firm belief or faith that you will get a solution from your subconscious mind on awakening. Relax and go to sleep for 30 minutes or an hour. Or you can do this at night time when you're going to sleep. And what happens? Well, extraordinary, but the solution will come to you on awakening, or may come in some other form over the next few days. This works. You do these 4 steps, 5 steps properly. Do them exactly how it's described. You will be flabbergasted at, is that a word, flabbergasted? Yeah, it is. You'll be awestruck at how powerful this is. One example, I think I mentioned it in one of my books, and this happened some years ago. I had a potentially very serious business problem. It was losing me something like, at the time, about 200 euros a day. That's a lot of money. That's loss of 1,000 a year. 50,000, sorry, a week. 50,000 loss a year. And it was getting bigger, this loss. It was. I can't go into all the details, but I called up my accountant. I said, look, what can I do? He said, oh my goodness, that is a problem. Wow. I said, I can't think of any solutions. So he said, look, you're going to have to hire a very specific type of financial advisor for this. And I did. And she was over in the UK, very helpful. Came through a recommendation from a friend in the States, actually. And she looked at this and she said, wow, I honestly can't see a solution to this. You're just going to have to put up with this loss long term. But this, it was getting potentially worse as I made more money, and the company is very profitable. But nobody wants to make a loss, of 250 euros a day, and especially as the company was growing, that loss would become 500 euros a day, 700 euros. Oh my goodness, that's a lot over the course of a year. And anyways, look, I thanked her. She said, look, I'm going to do my best here, but I really can't see a solution to this. So I did this one night. I went to bed early. I went to bed around 10 p.m. To hell with this, I'll have to try this, because they can't give me, the experts, which I pay them a lot of money for, they couldn't give me the solution. So I said, to hell with this, I'll do it myself. I'll do this subconscious technique, the Thomas Edison technique. Set my alarm for the morning, went to sleep, having done this really clearly. I could not believe what happened. I woke up 20 minutes later, because I looked at my watch, or my phone. 20 minutes had passed, and there was the solution, clear as a bell in front of my mind. I went, oh my God. Oh my goodness. And I phoned both of them the next morning. I phoned my accountant first. He said, oh my God, Mike, you've got the solution. He said, check with the other expert. But he said, that's perfect. That's legal. That fulfills all government and intra-government requirements, all financial service requirements. He said, phone the other lady just to make sure. But he said, I'm willing to go with that. That's fine. So I did. I called her, and she said, my goodness, well done on being so persistent. That's perfect. That will work. That's absolutely fine. I'm sorry I can't go into deeper details, but I was utterly and completely shocked by the ability to tap into this amazing source of solutions to problems in my own mind. And you can do it as well. It's dynamite. That's technique number one, only number one. So this technique is simple yet very effective when done correctly. You've got to do it correctly, every step. Very easy. Okay, so that's technique number one. Technique number two, I absolutely love. It's mind mapping. The mind mapping method. Amazing. So create a mind map to stimulate your creativity. Basically, if you want to create something, like this was my mind map, even though you can't read it because it's very, very small, for my first bestseller, Unlock Gratitude Now. So I thought, right, what do I want to put in the book? So I just wrote on a A4 sheet of paper the name of the book, and then I would just, as ideas came to me about the book, what I wanted to include and how I was going to market, I just write them on a piece of paper. Later on, I would move them into logical order. But the amazing thing about mind mapping is that neural pathways are formed in the brain in the same way that mind mapping works. So, say for instance, okay, in the book I wanted to include some gratitude experiments that people could try for themselves and see that they work. So I was thinking about experiments, and then I thought, what other experiments could I share that would illustrate various things about the mind? So just when you start getting one idea, other ideas related to that idea start to filter down into your consciousness. And it's like everything auto-fills. It's amazing. Once you get that creative process started, it's like a download. It's amazing. But unless you get started with the brainstorming or brain dump, nothing much happens, okay? So it's a way of stimulating creativity. So mind maps work in the same way as your brain, and that's why they are so effective. They get you into a creative state where ideas flow effortlessly. I started using mind mapping. I never even knew that other people were doing it. It's just an idea that came to me back, I don't know, the early 1990s. And I was using it for a few years before I discovered other people were doing this thing as well. And it's called mind mapping. I didn't even know it had a name. So the person who is credited for inventing mind mapping is a Welsh guy called Tony Buzan. But was he the first? You probably came across it before I did. But, ideas pop into many people's minds. if they can be utilized and effectively. Okay, so with mind mapping, step one, start with a central idea or goal in the center of your page. You can do this with software, as I did here. So start with a central idea or goal, center of the page. Step two, brainstorm steps that can help you reach it. Step three, write down in any order as they come into your mind. Step four, reorder them logically by linking them together. And step five, as you see the map starting to take shape, more ideas will start coming into your mind. A wonderful way of kick-starting your creative flow. And then it just keeps flowing, you know. And you don't have to do this all in one session. You can go back to your mind map, you know, at a later point, and more ideas will come as you just read through it. And it's just amazing. It's amazing. It's like a starter motor that gets everything flowing. Anyway, so this is a very simple way to get ideas for any project, no matter how complex. Apply it to everything. Apply it to everything. Ways to improve your business, ways to improve your health, goals that you want to achieve. Mind map everything. Oh my goodness, it will squeeze out of your mind quite effortlessly, really. So squeezing isn't really the right word. It will help you to effortlessly tap into the action steps you need to take to achieve any goal. Powerful stuff, wonderful stuff. Technique number two. Technique number three, this is the 10 ideas method. It's a very simple way of proving to yourself, oh my goodness, I'm much more creative than I thought. Having that confidence and that knowledge, wow, you've unlimited resource available to you. So quickly, I'm going you do this over a course of a week. So on day one, write out 10 ideas for improving your physical health. Write out 10 ideas. I'm sure you can come up with 10 ideas for improving your physical health. Maybe more water, maybe better nutrition, more exercise, supplementation, whatever, you know. Just write out 10. This is just to stimulate your creativity. It's not, you don't have to follow the ideas that you come up with. It's just a way of showing you how creative you actually are. So day one, write out 10 ideas for improving your physical health. Day two, write out 10 ideas to create a better emotional health. Day number three, write out 10 ideas that could improve your finances. Maybe save so much every so often. Maybe invest, you know, so many different things. Maybe spend less and so many different ways. You can come up with a few. If you can't come up with 10, fair enough, but you try to go for 10. Day number four, write out 10 ideas for improving your enjoyment of work. You can definitely do that. You can find 10 ways that could make your workday more enjoyable. Find them, they're within you. Day number five, write out 10 ideas for creating smartphone apps. On your smartphone, go into the App Store, see what people are creating, come up with your own idea for apps. It doesn't matter if half of them already exist. Just want you to see that you're capable of doing this, okay? So, day number 6, write out 10 ideas to have more fun each day. Oh my goodness, you can do that, and how it will affect your life. Day number 7, write out 10 ideas that could progress your career more quickly. You can definitely do that. And if you do that, you'll thank me for it. This is just a way of proving to yourself how creative you are. So simple, so simple. You'd be mind blown by the creative ideas you have within you that you can tap into anytime you want. So, at the end of just 1 week, you will be amazed by the number of great ideas you have squeezed out of your mind. So, your ideas are what lead to your success, freedom, and wealth. Okay, your ideas. And if you block out just 30 minutes each week to brainstorm new ways to improve your life, you'll be very thankful. Very thankful. You can use this method, or you can use the mind mapping method. I would suggest mind mapping. This is a great method just to get that confidence that, wow, I have this ability within me. Okay, so that's technique number 3. Going to go through the rest of them quite quickly now. Techniques 4 to 9. And these are methods by which you can connect more powerfully with your intuition, with your inner creativity. Okay, Every so often I demonstrate all these amazing devices that enable you to access different states of consciousness. My entire life has been dedicated and devoted to the study of human consciousness and the mind and spiritual development and, life after death and the evidence for that. And I'm really scientifically minded. I want, I check for as much proof as possible, things that you can see, touch, weigh and measure, because as the saying goes, extraordinary claims require an extraordinary degree of evidence to back them up. So over the years I've tested so many of these technologies, and some of them just don't work, or they work only for some people. But every few months I share all these technologies. I show you all these devices and how they work. They're amazing. So briefly, because we don't have the time to get in detail, but all of these technologies help you to get into a relaxed, focused, receptive state where you can tap into your creativity very powerfully. So first of all, one method, you've got to do it, meditation. If you want to look at one of the common denominators for the world's most successful people, the highest performers, vast majority of them meditate. Whatever form of meditation you take up, all meditation works. And there's all these scientific studies that have been done into the benefits of meditation, and it enables you to combat stress, to be more empathic, more intuitive, have more energy, clarity of mind, more zest and life force, and so many. We don't have time to get into it, but all forms of meditation, or most of them, have positive effects. And we all need some form of daily practice, preferably at the beginning of the day, to bring us into our most, optimum state, and in this case, creative state. Meditation, amazing. Biofeedback is another way of getting yourself into this relaxed, focused, receptive state, where you connect yourself through electrodes that touch your skin to a device that has maybe LEDs and sound, and as you relax, the LEDs go out and the sound lowers. Just a way of directly feeding back to you your relaxation level. And these are like training wheels on a bicycle. After a while, you don't need the tool anymore. You can bring yourself into that state just by remembering what it felt like, okay? Also, brainwave sensing technology. You have several of these devices. They pick up your brainwaves, and you see on your computer screen your relaxation level, or whether you're in alpha, beta, delta, or theta, or gamma state. These different brain states, all scientifically provable. And they absolutely work. And also, which I absolutely love, and I always say that, light and sound devices. You put on sunglasses that have little LEDs embedded in them, and you put on earbuds or headphones connected to the device, close your eyes, and you see all these geometric patterns and swirling shapes and sounds, and it's absolutely beautiful. And they can, you can literally dial up any state of consciousness. If you suffer from insomnia, you have programs that will bring you to sleep very quickly. If you're very tired, programs that will energize your brain and your body very quickly. Programs for accelerated learning, for retention of information when you're studying for exams maybe. And also there are lots of programs for deep relaxation and creativity. These things absolutely work, and I've been using them since the 1990s. I've been experimenting with them, and particularly the light and sound devices. I don't know, maybe I have 7 or 8 of them. Most of the better known ones out in the market, they absolutely work, and they're used by psychologists and in laboratories and by lots of high performers, highly successful people. So that's light and sound. Electrocranial stimulation. There is a picture of one here. Just you put these electrodes behind your ears and you switch the machine on, and you feel like a vibrating sensation, and that can bring you into a very deeply relaxed, focused state. It can also boost your intuitive ability, believe it or not. These really work. These really work. These are ways to stimulate your creativity, to bring you into that state where you're at your most creative. And then if you couple that with the other tools I've shared with you, like mind mapping, you'll be mind blown if you've never done these sort of things. How creative you can be, the extraordinary ideas you have within you. I think there's a tendency for people to ask other people's advice. Should I do this? Should I do that? They don't know. Even the greatest experts, you can't pay them enough to be awake at night worrying about you and looking after your welfare. You have all these solutions within yourself. This is a fact. Amazing ways. Oh, another one. Self-hypnosis. So powerful. Oh my goodness, self-hypnosis is amazing. It's just a way of getting yourself into a really relaxed, focused state. I cover that in detail from time to time. So those are techniques for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's the whole lot there. So, how to be 10 times more productive? Okay, we've gone from creativity, now we're going into productivity. And you might think, oh, the creative stuff is the interesting stuff, here's the boring stuff. No. Doesn't it make sense that you have to work less hard, less stress, make things happen much more easily? Well, that's all about productivity. So there are simple ways to get 10 times more done while dramatically reducing stress. If you are very effective and productive, think of how much faster you can achieve a better life, better, more enjoyable life. Or if you're doing things in a very unproductive way, it takes ages just to do the smallest things. And our lives are held back dramatically. So productivity is really important. So unfortunately today we are living in the age of distraction. We're distracted by social media, TV, phones, internet. Everything is vying for our attention all of the time. And we only get 24 hours in a day, only 24 hours, and we cannot create more time. We can only change the way we do things. That's the only thing we can do. We can only change the way we do things. We can only change how we use our time. And you know what? Wasting time sabotages people's chances of achieving a better life, of being really successful. Wasting time, and we all do it. So, I know this sounds crazy, but it is true. It is possible. It is possible for many people, when they start using high performance techniques, to achieve more in the next 12 months than in the previous 12 years. This is the possibility. I'm not guaranteeing you'll achieve 12 times more in the next 12 months if you're already a high performer. But if you're a very poor performer, most people are, it might be possible. You'd be very surprised how far faster you can make the good things happen in life. Overcome the limiting beliefs. What was before impossible suddenly becomes possible. Minimum effort, maximum result. These are extraordinary things. Okay, so achieving more in the next 12 months than in the last 12 years. This sounds really stressful, but it's not. It's the opposite, actually, because stress is, you probably know this, it's the number one killer today. That's what scientists are telling us. Stress is the number one killer, not directly, but it causes all sorts of serious illnesses if not treated. Okay, ongoing stress, over time it affects the body chemistry. Well, it affects it immediately actually, but over time it can cause really serious illness. This is what the scientific research is telling us today. So there are simple yet powerful ways to progress all your goals faster while reducing stress and dramatically improving your life. So what doesn't make sense to learn what these might be? I think so. So let's get into the high performance section. So high performance coaching, what is it? But this is Brendan Burchard, and he's the founder of the High Performance Institute. Got to know Brendan. He's a remarkable person. I was in his mastermind group for several years. Amazing experience. Learned so much from this guy. He founded the High Performance Institute, and they researched, I think it was 300,000 high performers in the first round to see, are the most successful people on the planet, are there common habits they all have? Are there things that most of them do to enable them to be far more successful, and turns out there are. So this is what high performance coaching is all about. You know, you don't have, most people try this and try that and always running after the next shiny object, only to find most of it just doesn't work. Well, high performance does work. It's been scientifically proved to work. So what is high performance? Well, high performance means excelling and succeeding above and beyond standard norms consistently over the long term. This is not about peak performance. An athlete must be in a peak performance state to win that marathon. But you can't sustain that. High performance is about excelling and succeeding above and beyond standard norms consistently over the long term. It's about long term being you know, getting ahead faster and enjoying life more. It's all about enrichment. So high performance habits, what are they? Well, first of all, high performance versus peak performance, which I just said. You can't sustain peak performance, but you can with high performance. And high performers have greater energy, fulfillment, aliveness, and joy. Fact, scientifically proved. High performers master their productivity and time management. And you know, when you are a high performer, you start mastering your physiology and boosting your energy and mind power. And also, you will learn techniques to reduce stress and burnout. And one thing, big common factor for so many high performers, they don't all do this, but most of them do. A lot of them, big high proportion do. They take energization breaks every 60 to 90 minutes throughout the day, because normally at the beginning of the day we have maximum energy, and as we go through the day we start losing energy, particularly when we change tasks, switch from one task to another, we lose a bit of energy. But what if between shifting from one task to another, if you were to take a break, 2 to 3 minutes, and boost your energy and your focus and your aliveness, and then when you go back to your work, instead of feeling more tired, you have actually more energy. So there's a way of replenishing your energy throughout the day as you go through the day. So instead of being totally burnt out at the end of the day, you have a lot more energy than you used to, and that's great for your family and loved ones, and for experiencing a much more enjoyable quality of life. Okay, so energy is everything. Okay, and high performers are more effective and influential. Influential, that's a big thing, being influential. If we're not very influential, and I teach influence and things like that at various times throughout the year. If you're not very influential, it's very hard to get other people to buy into your ideas, to go along with you and support you in achieving your goals. But if you're, if you learn how to be influential, everybody will want to support you and help you. You'd be surprised how becoming more influential determines the magnitude of what you can create in life. When you are really enthusiastic about something, really excited, people love that. That's infectious, and people want to help you. It's just natural, this is not manipulation. Absolutely the opposite. It's about you being the most sincere, genuine you can possibly become. So these are great things, and when you know how to use these tools, when you know how to transform your life in these simple ways gradually, life can become very different. Okay, so at high performers, obviously they achieve, because they do all these things, they achieve their goals faster and are more successful. So these are things that most highly successful people do. They do these high performance habits. So quickly we experience these things. We experience more clarity in our life, more energy, more courage, more productivity, and we are more influential by mastering these different areas: productivity, persuasion, psychology, physiology, presence, and purpose. And every month we go into one of these boxes, one of these areas of high performance. Sometimes some of them we go into maybe twice in the year, the second time at a deeper level. So that's high performance coaching model. So I have some questions for you. You don't need to write all this down, because at the end of this session I'm going to give you a PDF file that you can download of all the slides in today's presentation. So don't feel like you have to answer these questions now, and don't worry, you don't need to send me the answers. They're for yourself to rate yourself and gain more perspective of where you're at right now. Okay, so this is all about productivity. Number one, when was a time in your life when you were most productive? Okay, and number two, back then, how did you get so much done? These are, when you're become more consciously aware of how you've been most productive in the past and why you are most productive then, gives you a lot of understanding of how you can be more productive in the present. Number three, where in your personal life do you feel you're not productive enough each day and why? Fill in the blank. Number four, where in your professional life do you feel you're not productive enough and why? So that's personal life and professional life. Number five, if you could only improve one or two of these, what would they be? Okay, this is narrowing it down to priorities. Number six, what could you start doing to improve these areas? You can definitely come up with these solutions, these ideas. As I say, this session is all about being more creative, tapping into these ideas within you. You definitely have answers to all of these questions. Number seven, what do you really feel is most important in your mission and your goals right now? Okay. Number eight, are you moving towards it at the pace you really want? Okay. So time for some self-reflection. And in a previous session, we explored what's Brendan Burchard calls the clarity chart and your success markers. And just as a brief recap, here they are again. So clarity chart, 9 words to maintain your day-to-day clarity. These are 9 words you say to yourself throughout the day. Maybe 3 in the morning, 3 in the early afternoon, 3 in the evening, or whatever. But just reminding yourself, installing these words, you might say, in your subconscious mind has massive effects on your day-to-day life. So 9 words to maintain your day-to-day clarity. So this will make sense in a moment. Self. The 3 words that will now define the best of who I am and that I will use to guide my personal life, including my thoughts, include, you need to come up with 3 words of your own. Mine, the 3 words that define the best of who I am and that I will use as my guide to my personal life, including my thoughts, include. Mine are motivating, inspiring, empowering. I need to be motivating, I need to be inspiring, and I need to be empowering, because I really feel that that's part of my mission, to do those things. So those are the 3 words that I've chosen for me: motivating, inspiring, and empowering. Yours will be different, I'm sure. Interactions. Now these are the words that I want to be in my interactions with other people. So the 3 words that will now define and guide how I will engage and treat others, whom I meet in life, including my loved ones and strangers, include the words that I want to be, the qualities I want to be. I want to be caring, attentive, and appreciative. Caring, attentive, and appreciative. Okay? By repeating these words to ourselves each day, a few times a day, it goes into the subconscious mind and you start to become those qualities. Okay? Success markers. The 3 words that will now remind me of what it is that made me most successful and will make me even more successful include, for me, the ones I chose are clarity, determination, and consistency. For years, those are qualities that I've had, that I've developed, developed clarity, determination, consistency. So those are 3 words that I still use to be most successful. So what do you do with these words? Well, you keep yourself on track by, our phones, our mobile phones, our cell phones, our smartphones are amazing devices because they all contain a reminder feature, and you can set alarms on your phone to go off maybe 3 times a day. So the way I do this is around 10 a.m. these 3 words pop up on my phone: motivating, inspiring, and empowering. And I use a very simple tapping technique, and I repeat these words: motivating, inspiring, empowering, motivating, inspiring, empowering, and so on. And using these acupressure points and repeating the words, they are installed in your subconscious mind in a very powerful way, where they start to take effect. Okay? And then a few hours later, 3 other words pop up on my computer screen with an alarm: caring, attentive, appreciative, and I do the tapping again. I'm not going to go into tapping in this session, but I've covered in detail, many times. It's in a previous session. It'll be coming in another month or 2. So keep yourself on track. You set phone reminders combined with 3-minute qigong routine with tapping these words. I share these tapping techniques for boosting energy and mind power frequently throughout the year, but again, these are not things that I'll be covering today. Again, this is only a recap of a previous session, but it was very relevant. So my question to you is, well, are you still doing these practices to make you more successful? Are you still doing these this clarity chart? Because if you've let it slip, and by human nature often we let things slip, maybe it's time to start doing them again, because it's often the simplest things that have the greatest impact. So, number 1, are you still doing these practices to make you most successful? Number 2, what distractions or competing interests seem to keep you from getting more done? Okay. Number 3, how could you minimize these distractions? Oh my goodness, you can. I remember when I was writing my first bestseller, The Unlock Gratitude Now, and I did this for my second one as well. Habits to minimize distractions. I'd switch off, email. I wouldn't allow anyone to disturb me. I'd have a do not disturb sign on my office door, switch off phone, and I would just write my book, type it. I would narrate it to the computer using voice recognition, because when you're writing a book, I think the best books sound like someone's talking to you. So it makes sense to me that instead of typing the book, I narrate it to the computer, and the computer transcribes it into text. And it's much easier to free flow. You can always edit it later. So yeah, to minimize distractions, I'd do these things, and I would get so much done in 2 to 3 hours every morning writing the book. So there are ways we can use to minimize distractions. Just a decision, that's all. Number 4, you need to transform distraction into focusing on your mission. Because if you don't, distraction will take over and will determine your future. Terrible, true. So daily success planner. Time really is your most valuable treasure. You never get more time, but you can devote time to things that matter the most and less time to things that aren't that important. So this is a very simple planner. It's also in the most powerful goal achievement system in the world, my second bestseller. It's a very simple planner. You can use any planner you want, but this one's really effective. It's for planning each day. So what do you do? You list 3 of your major projects or goals along the top of your A4 page. And then you list the 5 biggest things you must do to move each of those projects or goals forward. Okay, so number 1 might be writing your book. Project number 2 might be, getting more clients. Project number 3, whatever your goals are. So write down your 3 major goals at the top of your A4 sheet of paper. Any piece on your computer if you want. And then list the 5 biggest things, most important things you must do to move each one of these projects 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, very, very simple. And then underneath that, you need to write on the left-hand side of the page the people who you need to contact you today, who are helping you move one or more of these projects forward. You need to reach out to them, okay? And then there may be people who you've reached out to before and are helping you achieve these goals. You may need to send them reminders. So this one is here, people I'm waiting to hear back from. You may need to say, hey, how's that logo coming along, or whatever, It just means when you do your daily planning like this, it means all your projects are constantly moving forwards and nothing is forgotten. This takes, what, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, even, you know, my own daily success planner. It doesn't change much from day to day. I usually use the same one for a week or so. Just might change around a few of these, you know. But it just keeps you moving forwards, keeps you focusing on the important things, and instead of being distracted all the time. At the very bottom of the page, very important, the priorities. The main things I must complete today, no matter what, are write your priorities for the day at the bottom. Just keep things moving forwards. If you just leave it all locked up in your mind, no, that's not going to really happen. You can see it black and white or blue and white on the paper, on a piece of paper, and sitting in your desk. You will progress all your goals. Very simple tool for huge effects. So that's that. Oh, there's one final thing. Time blocking. And then we go to questions and answers. Time blocking. For a dramatic increase in productivity, block time is a focus management approach that requires blocking out significant amounts of time to advance or complete a major project in your life. So it requires you to get clear on a major dream and schedule real time to leap forwards, to leap towards it, not move towards it, to leap towards it. Okay. So when doing time blocking to progress any project, eliminate all distractions. That's really important. Turn off your phone, social media, and make sure you are not disturbed. So you have total focus, so you can have total focus and be at your most creative. So you can make the fastest progress possible. So the goal, again, as always, is minimum effort, maximum result. So let's look at a great way to do this effectively. So below, detail a dream. As I say, you don't need to write anything because I'm going to give you the PDF file of all the slides. You can do all this later in your own time, carefully. Spend time with this. Below, detail a dream you have and spend time answering the questions and planning your block time. Dream number 1. A dream project I'd love to start or complete is, fill in the blank. Number 2, the reason this project is a dream of mine and I'm committed to it is, fill in the blank. Okay, important to get to the big reason why. It's much more motivating. Number 3, if I'm ever going to make this dream come true, I have to make these things my priority. Fill in the blank. Number 4, a block of time I'm going to dedicate to this dream or project is, fill in the blank. And this can be a daily block of time or a block of time that's several days or weeks long, where you can focus on nothing else but the project. Like, for example, writing a book. Most people spend, a lot of writers block out weeks to write a book, okay? So you repeat this process for other dreams you have. Okay, this will help you progress every one of your goals much more effectively. So to create the big important question here, to create the reality where I will have this much block time to complete the project, I will need to make these adjustments in my life. What adjustments will you need to make sure this becomes a reality? You need to choose something. So that's great. How to win back time. Now, time is your most valuable possession. You never get more of it, but you can spend it much more wisely. And here's a really sad, really worrying fact, and this is not just Americans. I'm sure it's most of the world now. The average American spends 5 hours and 4 minutes watching TV every day. Do you know what that adds up to? 1,849 hours every year, or the equivalent of watching TV 24/7, 365, day and night, non-stop, for 16 years of their life. Oh my goodness. The age of distraction. The age of dreams being killed. The age of unhappiness, unfulfillment. How different would these people's lives be if they watched just 1 hour less of TV each day and spent that hour pursuing their goals in life? Just 1 hour less, not the whole lot gone, just 1 hour less, and instead dedicate that 1 hour to progressing their dreams. Oh my goodness, their lives would be completely different. The world would be completely different. So I have a strong suggestion for you to do just
do this once, just for one day. Take account of how you spend each hour of the day. Write it on a piece of paper. Because you may be very surprised at how much time you could set aside by prioritizing your time better. You might be very surprised at the time you could set aside for progressing your goals and creating a much more wonderful life. Just by prioritizing your time. It's that simple. Most people never do this. Just do it for one day, just to see how you spend your time each day, and learn from that. You might be thankful. Okay, so there's a wonderful book called The One Thing, and it's all about one question you ask yourself that can enormously speed up the process of achieving your goals. And that one question is, what's the one thing I can do that by doing it everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Oh wow, that's a powerful question. When I wrote my first bestseller, I'm Not Gratitude Now, I asked myself that about what's the one thing I can do to get my book into the hands of as many people as possible and help them achieve a better life. And I could have, hired a PR person or people, or I could have done lots of advertising, and there's so many ways you could answer that question. But I'll read it again. What's the one thing I can do that by doing it everything else will be easier or unnecessary? And by asking myself that question, it made me drill down to all the different possibilities. And I selected one that had massive effect. I bought an email list of all the US radio stations, and I sent an email to a lot of them saying, look, here's my book, just been published, it's already a bestseller. Here's why your audience would be interested in hearing about this book, and why it's topical right now. I was inundated with replies to be on this radio show and this TV show and this podcast, and that was absolutely as a result of asking myself, what's the one thing I can do that by doing it everything else will be easier or unnecessary in relation to getting my book into the hands of as many people as possible. So this is a wonderful question you can ask yourself. So that's what have we covered today, because we're going to go into questions and answers now. We've looked at success and wealth and how they are created through ideas. Everything that's ever been created started as an idea. Scientists and inventors tune into new ideas or inventions and creativity, and your mind can tap into unlimited creativity. I've shared with you 10 ways, no, there's 9 ways to access your creative inner genius. Didn't change that. 9 ways. I'm sure there's another way, or many more ways. How to double productivity while reducing stress. How to maintain clarity every day. A daily success planner to achieve your goals faster. How to block time for massive radical productivity, and how to win back time even if you have very little right now. Okay, and finally the powerful one thing focusing question. So recommended resources, if you want to look into all these amazing wonderful mind machines, biofeedback, light and sound machines, you might go to mindplace.com. Brainwave sensing headset, neurosky.com is one of the websites. Electrocranial stimulation, sota.com. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard. The Most Powerful Goal Achievement System in the World by myself. And The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. That's the one thing question. So now it's over to you. Ask me any questions you want. I'm going to go back in front of my desktop computer in a moment, and this video camera will go blank for a moment, and you hear some rustling sounds, and then my webcam on my computer will spring to life at my desk and ask me anything. Take this opportunity to ask me anything about this presentation or previous ones, or anything that you think I might be able to help you with. If I can, I'll truthfully answer. If I can't, I'll tell you. And if you're watching the replay, if you're not watching this live, you can, whether you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever, several different places, there's always a chat box there where you can post questions, and I will reply to them if you post your question there, or send me an email. Visit my website at mikepettigrew.com, or what's the other one? achievegoalsfast.com. That diverts to it. It's an easy one to remember, achievegoalsfast.com. So don't go away. This camera will blank out for just literally 2 seconds, and I'll see you in a moment. Get those questions rolling and for the chat.
Okay, I hope you found that helpful. I just want to make sure that the audio is working on this computer. Okay. Yeah, it is. It is indeed. Great. So I hope you found that helpful. And just looking at the questions that have come in. And then first of all, I'm going to give you the slides. I'm going to click on, hopefully this will appear. 1 second. What am I doing here? 1 second. I just want to make sure that what has happened to my oh dear, leave that alone. I trust that you can see the slides. They're probably on the right hand side of the page, or the left hand side of the page, and if you click on the link, the slides will download to your computer. So questions. The first question is from Jack. Hello, Jack. Jack says, you said that success isn't created through hard work, but hard work has been responsible for most of my successes. Is there an easier way I've been missing? Well, congratulations. I mean, most success does take a lot of hard work. I mean, if you're starting a business, oh my goodness, the amount of work that can go into it. But I think, there's not saying that there's a very easy way. Everything requires effort, but there's an easy way and a difficult way, or a difficult way and an easier way. And again, Thomas Edison, I think it was himself who said 90% of genius is perspiration, but only 10 inspiration. There's a lot of truth to that. But having said that, great substantial success isn't created through hard work alone. It's about doing the things that matter most, the things that move the needle the most. And that's the purpose of these monthly live sessions. It's about high performance. I teach each month the strategies, tools, and techniques that have been scientifically proved to work. I didn't invent this stuff myself. This is the culmination of major studies, hundreds of thousands of high performers worldwide. And there are certain things that a huge percentage of them do to get ahead faster, to reach that level of success that they've wanted more easily, to move forwards and achieve goals with less effort. It's about doing the things that matter most, that give the biggest bang for the buck, or the biggest effect for the effort. So I think if you add to that hard work, oh my goodness, there's no stopping you. You can achieve extraordinary things that a lot of people would think impossible. That's the reality. I hope that helps. Question here from I'm looking questions coming in here on both sides of my screen. A question here from Brian about mind mapping software. Great question. Can you suggest any free mind mapping software? Yeah, definitely. I use, and it's not free, I use a program called iMindMap Ultimate. It's not available anymore. They rebranded to IOA, AYOA. I don't know why. It became a sort of like a project management or collaboration suite. It became a lot more than just a mind map. So that's what I use, but that's a paid system. Free software, there are quite a few. Just if you do a Google search for best free mind mapping software 2022, you'll come up with a lot. But just some ones that I remember the names of: Coggle, Mind Mapple, Gitmind, Gitmind, Gitmind. Haven't used all these. I haven't needed to. Blue Mind, X Mind. Those are the ones that spring to mind immediately. And all you need is free mind mapping software, or you can just get a pen and paper and do it that way. And you only need really a paid mind mapping system if you're doing a little bit more high-tech stuff. I mean, the software that I use, it's great. You can convert it into a PowerPoint presentation that will animate and move. Things will move around, and as you click on things, the explainers come up and all that. Don't really use that feature. In fact, I'd probably just be as well off using a free mind mapping software. They're all pretty good. Some are a little bit easier to use than others. Some are more powerful than others, but they all do more or less the same thing. So hope that helps. Message from Claire. Hello, Claire. If I start tapping into my inner creativity more, could I also make major discoveries or invent new things, or do you need to already have an inventive mind? Well, obviously, it helps to, if you are already quite creative and you learn how to tap into your creativity in much more powerful ways, and I've shown you 9 ways, there's much more likelihood of that happening. But if you've never been very creative, I can't guarantee anything, obviously, everybody is different. But some people are naturally more creative than others. I suppose it really depends on your starting point, whether you're already very creative or not. But either way, it doesn't matter. We can all become a lot more creative. I mean, I shared my own experience of using the Thomas Edison method some years ago. That was the first time I used it. I'd never used it before, and I was utterly and completely gobsmacked. And it's affected my business for years and years and years as a result of doing that one time. So whether you are already very creative or not, just test some of these methods I've shared, and you might be astounded. So I can't guarantee you will suddenly start inventing things, but who knows? It's very, very possible. Also, taking up a daily practice of meditation or doing some intuition type exercises using things like brain tuners or biotuners and light and sound devices, they all stimulate your creativity and work with that part of the brain. So these are amazing technologies that exist. Some of them are electronic technologies, and others are, what would you say, mind technologies, as simple as that. They all work though. Okay, I hope that helps. Message from Susie. Hello, Susie. You said stress is #1 killer these days. Is this really true? And how exactly can stress kill you? I work in a very stressful environment, and I'm stressed quite often. Is there anything I can do to reduce stress without jumping around in front of my work colleagues? Yeah, I know what you're referring to there. Every few months, I demonstrate these techniques, breathing and jumping and on the tippy toes and tapping, the qigong exercise. All of these things are very, very powerful. You don't have to do all those things. I mean, just taking a break every 60 to 90 minutes, and just breathing deeply and then gently, that alone dramatically reduces stress. And if you drink a lot of coffee, you might want to back off on that a little bit. And okay, stress isn't going to kill you directly, but the science shows that untreated stress that goes on for a long time, increases blood pressure. It can lead to heart attacks, anxiety, depression, autoimmune problems. And the body's flooded by chemicals that aren't great. Chemicals are released in the brain when you're stressed all of the time that aren't great for you. And just taking these exercise breaks, these reset breaks, these de-stressing breaks, these energization or refocus breaks every 60 to 90 minutes can work wonders. Just have an alarm go off on your phone every 60 minutes or 90 minutes. I do it, I don't do it 60 minutes. That's too often for me. 90 minutes is great. And I don't always do it. I forget to do it. And sometimes I switch off the reminders on my phone, sometimes for long periods, days even. But certainly when life is stressful, doing these little strategies can have enormous effects. Okay. And you don't need to jump around and do the Qigong exercise if you don't want. Certainly if you're working in an office environment, you don't want people sort of thinking, what on earth is she doing? Or he doing, or whatever. So I hope that helps. I don't see any more questions in the chat. No, that's it. I think that's it for today. So I hope this has helped, and stay safe, and I'll see you again next month. Thank you so much. And if you are watching the replay and you want to ask a question, you can go into the chat, because this chat role stays, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, the chat role stays there. And I do check later people's messages and questions. And thank you, Dan. Nice comment. And see you all again. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.